Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. Dr. Joe Salustio back with you again here on our very first episode at Ellucian E Live in cloudy New Orleans, Louisiana, where it may rain. We're not sure, but there is a heck of a lot of people down here at this conference. Holy moly. I got just everywhere you look, there's people. They got Ellucian badges on everywhere. There's got to be 5,000 people down here. It's absolute insanity, but good insanity because we get to talk about innovations in higher education and people who are using the Ellucian product set. It's really interesting and amazing. And I thought, we're going to find all these people from the United States to interview, and from overseas, people from here, from there, from everywhere. And we have a very amazing guest with us first. A first amazing guest. She's smiley, she is excited, and she's ready to go. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to get her name right. Here she is. She's Fatma Mansour Al-Mesleh, Vice President for Student Affairs at Lusail University. I think I got it mostly right, your name.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Well, Fatma, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. So tell me, what are you doing here? What are you doing at eLive? Talk to me about your university. Just kind of lay the land. What are you doing and what do you hope to learn? Just start talking.
Thank you, first of all,
Of
for
course.
having me. Shukran. First of all, Lusail University is the first private national university in the state of Qatar. And from day one, when we started, which is a brand new university as well, we started in 2020.
Whoa.
And from day one, we actually took the responsibility to build the culture of private universities in the state of Qatar. And part of my role as Vice President for Student Affairs at Lusail University, equality came number one at that time. And I decided to go for a banner system, which is under Ellucian umbrella from day one. Although we received, I remember the study from Deloitte that in year one, you will only have 50 students. And then the board at that time, they said, okay, you will have 50 student banner will not worth it because it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
And I remember the fight during that time to get banner from day one because
were you fighting for it?
Yes.
So you remember your fight? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Amazing.
I remembered I tried to convince them that we need to have the quality, we have that responsibility, and we don't know how many students we will have, especially that we started during COVID. And we know that the students who were planning to study abroad, they will not be able to do that at that time.
Yeah.
So that means we will have many applicants in 2020. And I was right. Actually, we received more than 1,000 applicants.
Whoa!
And we admitted 900 students in the first semester. And today we have like almost 2,500 students, like in year 1, 2, and 3.
You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you.
That's what you told them, right? I will teach you what's going on here.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So actually, the good thing with my small number of employees and with those students, we can manage everything. Like we are using banner and the services and literally everything. I will not call it digital transformation because this is digital creation, maybe. Yeah. We started from day one. I'm not allowing them to do anything manually. Okay, you can do it for very short time.
That's smart.
I'm not accepting any new project until they have the IT solution. So that way, all of them are enforced to use technology and to think very innovative.
And not get stuck in right? Because when you start doing things manually and you start getting in a process and then you put technology on top of it, everything that those people hold control.
Exactly.
And they don't want to let go because they're used to a process.
Exactly.
So that was very smart. Love that.
So, and that way, it's like the university will not stand for an employee or two. It's about a system, like a solid system that anyone can work with it.
It's all part of the plan.
I love it. See how I work those in?
Yeah.
Right? So your growth has been amazing.
Yeah. So when we started, it was only 5 programs. Today we have 17 programs and 4 colleges.
So are you tell me where your students are primarily coming from?
So we have over 70 nationalities. Most of them are residents. However, we have the scholarship program for, let's say, the poor countries. So we are bringing about 50 students every year from those countries with full scholarship.
Wow.
And they are doing great. Actually, they are like ambassador for their countries at our university.
Wow. So you're really global, and I mean, you're a global university.
Yes.
Wow. So talk to me about what you're hoping to learn here at eLive. What kind of sessions are you attending? Is it all student focused? Is it technology focused? Because you're a VP of Student Affairs, so that's a balance, right?
Yes.
Do I need to do, or so what, how are you learning? What are you hoping to learn?
I can say both. Because for the IT side, like I'm a lawyer, I don't have IT background. But what I'm doing actually when I'm discussing with the IT team, I like to have the whole knowledge about everything. So just don't play with me.
I'm sure you just, they love you, I'm sure, to lay out all the facts, right, as an attorney.
So what I'm doing actually, because I'm the one who's taking the decision, and I'm not taking the decision based on any of the employees, like, let's say, opinion. Especially that if we are talking about the IT department, they will talk about like the way that it will make their job easier. But then I have like the employees, the students, the university, like many things. So I'm trying to learn by myself from day one. And I think the office in Dubai, they know that like literally every demo, I'm
You're
there.
Be there.
I'm there.
So you hoping to see new technologies here?
Yes.
And bring them back, and you want to understand the ins and outs of those. That's why you're here learning about.
Exactly. So I'm trying to have like our plan at the university. So we were discussing currently about the CRM recruit, for example, because yes, we had lots of the students, but what helped us was during COVID. But then we need to work more on that to attract more students to the university. And then when we are talking about advising, when we talking about like other activities, so it's about like what do we need like with our plans. So I have a plan like for 3 years, and every year actually I'm updating the plan because the technology is like
it's changing rapidly, right?
Very fast. Yeah.
Well, so how do you plan for that, right? So you're growing so fast. That growth in almost a year and a half, almost 2-year period to
2
go
years,
from
exactly
an expected number of 50 students to however many thousand. How are you keeping up? Because you have to add so many services, right?
Exactly.
And you're selecting. So how do you pick, and how do you manage the budget and scale, right? And how many students are you planning for? 20,000 or 10,000 or 200,000? How do you make those decisions?
Exactly. So how I worked is about like based on my experiences. I used to work at Qatar University, which is the huge university in Qatar. But then like I have the knowledge, but what is next? So that's why I'm trying to do my best to be involved in many conferences with many expertise. That's why I'm here actually. I remembered when I was discussing with the president like about being here, I told him like we are not learning from each other. What we are doing every day is trying to manage the university and the students and the complaints, and we are wasting our time like with that. But then if we need to think more and think about the future, we need to do something else. We need to learn from others. It's not about being there in our offices, dealing with a student. Students are students.
And they have specific demands these days, don't
exactly.
they? Being an attorney and being a VP of Student Affairs, how does that help? Being a lawyer, and what does that help? Tons?
A lot, actually. So the first thing, because we are receiving the student complaints. Like none of the students will come to us and say, "Oh, thank you.
Everything's going so well.
Yes,
thank you."
Yeah. that will never happen. So I think it's give me, if I will talk about myself, to give me like a confidence of dealing with them. I know that if like this is the right decision, and the student will not be able to go, let's say, go to the court and sue us, because this is
it's all in writing.
yeah, exactly. This is the main thing. The other thing is about the policies. So I really enjoyed drafting the whole policies of the university, involving an academic and specifically in student affairs. We came up with very unique policies. So uh, one of them, because like my field is administrative law. So however, when I worked with the policy, I came up with the new policies to apply, like let's say, the administrative law on the students. So for example, if we have a pregnant female student, okay, she can take a leave as same as any employee. If a student in military and he has like something to do for a month, okay, just go ahead. Like, we are treating them like an adult. It's not about they are still in school. And I think that's why we are teaching them the soft skills.
Nailed it.
Love it. Talk about student security a little bit, because data, privacy, cybersecurity, as a VP of Student Affairs, you're dealing with all those issues, and you're dealing, as you're scaling technology, there are a lot of openings for data breaches and so on.
Exactly.
So that's something that's got to be top of mind all the time, especially as you scale, right? So talk about
Exactly.
that and what you're doing.
So actually, this is the main topic that I always discuss with my employee in every meeting. So this is came number one. It's about like what we know as a student affairs supposed not to know for, like, let's say, finance department.
Right.
So it's about the student privacy. And I think cybersecurity is the university priority as well.
Definitely.
We have a bachelor program even in cybersecurity, and the IT faculty members are helping us a lot.
Talk to me a little bit about Qatar. All right, because how do you say it in Arabic properly for all of us Americans?
Qatar.
Qatar. See,
Okay.
Elvin, could you please
Qatar in
learn this?
Arabic.
We had the pleasure of going in 2021, and it's an
Great.
incredibly beautiful country. Like,
especially Qatar Foundation.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, just so beautiful. Talk about the growth of the country. You have a lot of students that are wanting to come to Qatar now and
Yes.
study. And are you bringing students in, or are you doing online programs at Lusail?
So at Lusail University, we are not doing purely online programs, but we are offering some of our courses online.
And so do you see students from across the world wanting to come to Qatar now to study?
Yes, we have many applicants. Like, international students have the biggest number of applicants if we are compared to like locals.
Right.
And I think they are willing to come, especially that if I will talk about Qatar in general, as you know, on Qatar Foundation, they have the top universities, and it's sometimes like going to Qatar, maybe it's like easier to go to US. I mean for people who are living in Asia or in the Arab countries, and they are getting the same education, the same certificate, diploma. So what they are doing is just going to a place that's closer to their countries, for example. And for Qatar Foundation, they are spending lots of time and of efforts of doing that. We are different than Qatar Foundation because like we are very national. We have like, they are working very internationally. But for us, and as a first like national university, a private national university in Qatar, it is different a bit.
And the country didn't allow private universities before; they're all public.
So the policy used to be like, you can have a private university, but like in collaboration with other university. So that's why we were the first. And they were actually like the other university, they want to come to Qatar because like we have lots of Qatari students who are traveling to US and UK to seek their degree.
Are you under extra scrutiny because you're the first private university in Qatar, and now you're here? Is coming here and looking at technology to help protect you in certain ways because you have more regulation, perhaps? startups?
So actually, this is my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want like after a year or 2 years, of course, like other universities will be opened, and if we are not fast in improving ourselves, that means we will fail. So it's about the time. It's not about anything else. And like if we will not, like for example, decided before 2 years or 3 years about having a very quality technology tool, that mean we might fail.
Right.
Because like it's when it's come about reputation, oh, I applied for Lusail University but it did not go through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the system is not working. So it's about like building the culture from day one.
It has to be nice to be able to build something from day one. Was that the allure? Because were you at Qatar University and then you went to Lusail because you could build something from scratch, and
Yes.
in a blank canvas, your own technology, your own decision making. How important has that beginning been for the growth of your area?
So actually, I like it a lot because
I bet you do. I'm jealous.
So it's so
Yes.
it's so different. Like working at Qatar University, yes, it's very big university. I gained the experiences over there, but then when, because everything we're ready at Qatar University, like you will not do
Right.
many things, but then when it's come to a new university, it's about you. It's about what you learn. Like maybe the one and only different thing, like it's about the supports. So you need to support yourself. It's not about getting the support from your colleagues or other
Right.
colleges. I remembered when we started the university, me and the provost were working like maybe 14 hours a day, including weekend, just
Yikes!
to build the policies,
Yeah,
to
you got to write the catalogs.
we need to get
all that, yeah.
ready, like checking the classrooms. And I remember the classrooms were ready like a day before the classes started.
Right.
So it was
That was fun though, wasn't it? Wasn't
yeah,
that fun to do that kind of stuff?
we just remember that, but
Yeah.
at that time it was
It
not
wasn't
fun
fun,
to
yeah, because
know.
you're sweating. Yeah.
Yes.
So what's going to make this a successful? When you fly back, when you say this was a successful conference because I got what? Like, what's the takeaways for you? What are you hoping for to make this conference a success here at eLive?
So actually, I have a plans, and the plans will not be successful without the tools that I'm gonna use. So even if we have lots of ideas, lots of needs, it's about picking the right tools to do so. And I'm always discussing that with my team, but actually, like sometimes I'm forcing them to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of my leadership.
I love it.
Yeah.
So talk to me. We always ask two final questions to every guest. Number one, what did we not say about Lusail University? Anything you want to say, your website, the next place you're going for a conference where people can come meet you now that you're going to be a huge international star? And what do you see as the future of higher education?
So if we are talking about like Qatar, specifically Lusail universities, I can see that when people are talking in Qatar about Lusail University, they are talking about it in a good way. So I think when they are talking about Lusail University in a good way, although we have more than 2,000 students, and they are not talking about, let's say, the negative sides, that means we are doing good job.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that we are doing good job, and we are attracting other investor to
Yes.
open universities as well.
And what do you see for the future of higher education, Fatma?
So I think higher education is not the same as before. It's not about just you want to make history or chemistry. It's not about that at all. So everybody have to think about it very differently. So we need to focus more on soft skills. We need to focus more about like very specific programs. It's not about like just studying law. Okay, what is next? We have many graduate, like law graduate, and they are not lawyers. Okay, what is the issues? They miss the skills maybe. So I think we need first to treat students like an adult, and then to think about the work later, the careers that they will go for. And I think it's like the university's responsibilities to think about the future of a student more than about the knowledge that they will deliver to students.
That's a good nugget right there. I'll tell you that. Where do we get in touch with you, Fatma? If somebody's listening to this podcast and say, I want to reach out to you, maybe I want to partner, find out what you do at university, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Of course, I think maybe by the email address of the office, like vpstudents@lu.edu.qa. We are happy to discuss anything and to collaborate.
Amazing. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard our very first guest here at eLive in New Orleans. Here she is again. She is Fatma, and she's going to say her last name better than me. Fatma, say your whole name out in your way.
In Arabic.
In Arabic.
Fatma Mansour Al-Mesleh.
There you go. That's amazing right there. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd.